Hi, Marianne here. I'd like to take a moment to speak to what I call the higher consciousness community. This could be those of us who are students of the Course in Miracles or any other serious spiritual path, Alcoholics Anonymous, psychotherapy, life coaches, whatever. You sort of know who you are. And I want to talk specifically about this issue of how far we think we're supposed to go in terms of commenting on political issues. Now, I have felt for a very long time that and have talked in our community, because it seems like it's necessary to discuss it, that somehow we have forgotten that spiritual seeking theoretically matures you. Those of us who are in the higher consciousness community should be the biggest grown-ups in the room. But you're not a grown-up if you refuse to take on the serious topics. And politics is sometimes the most serious topic. We should not be standing on the periphery just talking about love and light. You know, no particular corner of the culture is going to be taken seriously if it does not have gravitas. And one of the things that gives you gravitas, and without which you do not have gravitas, is if you will not take on the subject of evil. There is evil in the world. Now, those of us who are in the higher consciousness community feel very strongly that the evil in the world emanates from fear. But the Course in Miracles, for instance, does not say, therefore, ignore it. There is a difference between transcendence and denial. You don't transform something you deny the reality of. You transform something through what the Course in Miracles calls positive denial. You do recognize it, but you see through it to the alternative on the other side. Since the events in Charlottesville, particularly, there's been a lot of kind of throwing pink paint at it. Let's just pray for everybody. Let's just have love and compassion and pray for everybody. Well, of course we pray for everybody. It's very extremely important that we pray for everybody. At the same time, one of the things I've noticed in my career, and this has been going on for a while, is, oh, Marianne, if you talk about these things, you're being quote-unquote divisive. Hello, our community knows that if somebody is an addict, you have an intervention, if necessary. We don't shy away from concepts like addiction. We don't shy away from concepts like domestic violence. We're willing to call a spade when it is necessary. And this should be as true in terms of our societal dysfunctions as it is true in terms of personal dysfunctions. We don't tell somebody to just pour love and light over their addiction. We talk to them about the importance of actual recovery. Right now, with what's happening, and I say this particularly as a Jew, and I say it particularly because a lot of the leaders in our community are Jewish. Come on, guys. The people who were living in Nazi Germany when the Nazis were on the march. Israel honors those who hid Jews in their basement. Israel honors what's called the righteous Gentiles, all those thousands and thousands of people who tried to protect Jews and helped Jews. They didn't just look away and talk about love and light and pray for both sides. This is a time for us to be willing to speak. If you're going to speak truth, that means sometimes you say yes, but sometimes you say no. And this is not a time for us to be silent. Silence can equal death. Gay people know this. Black people know this. Jews know this. All of us should know this. Thanks a lot.